Today we're going to dig into a pretty serious failure in a system that's designed to protect all of us. It's a story about how one tiny misclassification, literally just an error on a piece of paper, can lead to a very real and very dangerous threat. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so picture this. You're in a food processing plant. It's humming along, steam is rising, everything's moving like a well-oiled machine. The operator is running a batch, following the procedure to the letter. Every logbook is getting filled out, every box is checked, just like every other day.
And if you were to look at the paperwork, you'd think it was a perfect run. I mean, every single check has been done, every signature is in place. On the surface, it looks like a textbook example of safety and efficiency.
But then, the phone rings. An alert comes in from further down the supply chain. A routine sample has flagged a potential pathogen. And just like that, all that perfect paperwork, it means absolutely nothing. The product that just rolled off the line is now a public health risk. The system completely failed. So, what on earth happened?
The investigation, as you can imagine, was immediate, and they quickly zeroed in on the pasteurization process. But here's the twist. This wasn't about a broken machine or a sleepy operator. Nope. The problem was way deeper, kind of baked right into the DNA of their safety plan.
What the investigators found was, honestly, kind of shocking. The entire safety system was operating under a totally false assumption. This wasn't a simple failure in doing something, it was a fundamental error in thinking. The very blueprint they were using for safety was wrong from the get-go.
And now we're getting to the absolute heart of the problem. It all boils down to the difference between two little acronyms in the world of food safety. It's a distinction that might seem small, but in this case, it was literally the difference between a safe product and a potential disaster.
So, first up, you've got what's called a Prerequisite Program, or a PRP. The best way to think about these is like the foundation of a house. They're the general good housekeeping rules that keep everything running smoothly. Keeping the place clean, making sure there are no pests, basic stuff. They're super important, but they're broad.
But then you have a critical control point, a CCP, and this is a whole different animal. A CCP isn't a general guideline. It is a laser-focused, specific step in the process that is designed to kill a known hazard. This is a point of no return where control has to be absolute and failure is simply not an option.
Let's use an analogy here, because it really helps. A PRP is like keeping your kitchen tidy and wiping down the counters. It's good practice, right? It keeps things generally safe. But a CCP, that's like making absolutely sure your oven hits 375 degrees to guarantee the chicken you're cooking is safe to eat. One is a good habit, the other is a non-negotiable kill step. And right here, this was the fatal flaw. In their safety plan, this plant had classified pasteurization, the single most important step for killing deadly bacteria, as a general PRP. They were treating the absolute kill step with the same level of casual control as a daily cleaning schedule. It's just a mind-boggling mistake.
So, the moment you uncover an error of this magnitude, the game changes completely. You don't get to cross your fingers and hope for the best, you have to assume the absolute worst. The entire mission shifts from production to 100% crisis containment.
And the playbook for a CCP failure is swift and it is severe. Step 1. You isolate and impound every single unit of product that could possibly be affected. Step 2. You destroy it, no questions asked. Step 3. You physically lock out the equipment so no one can use it. And only then, after all that, comes Step 4. You begin the deep dive investigation into what went so wrong.
This quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? There is no maybe. There's no trying to salvage the product or rerun the batch. The second a critical control point fails, that product is considered dangerous. Period. The only thing you can do is document its destruction.
Okay, so the immediate fire is out, the danger is contained, but the real work? It's just beginning. You can't just fix the machine, you have to fix the broken system that allowed this to happen in the first place. This is about building a truly resilient, totally bulletproof process for the future.
So, how do you build that bulletproof system? Well, it starts by immediately reclassifying pasteurization as what it is, a CCP. Then you establish rock-solid, scientifically validated critical limits for things like temperature and time. After that, you put in place continuous, rigorous monitoring. And finally, you have automatic,
predefined corrective actions ready to go for any deviation, no matter how tiny.
So, what does a critical limit actually look like in the real world? Here's a perfect example for milk. It's not just make it hot. No way. It's a precise, scientifically proven formula. Heat that product to a minimum of 72 degrees Celsius and hold it there for no less than 15 seconds. That precision, that's everything.
And this is the point I really want to drive home. These numbers, that 72 degrees, that 15 seconds, they're not suggestions. They're not goals. They are the absolute law of the process, backed by hard science that proves they will destroy pathogens. If you miss those marks, you have failed to make a safe product. It's truly that black and white.
You know, you can have the most perfect system on paper, but it's totally useless without people who are empowered and trained to enforce it. This last part is all about moving beyond just procedures and building a real culture of vigilance, turning your operators into the true guardians of the process. And that means training operators so they don't just know what to do, but why they're doing it. It means treating the equipment almost with a sacred respect through obsessive maintenance. It means looking at documentation not as a chore, but as the legal proof of your commitment to keeping people safe. And it means you are constantly auditing yourself, always trying to find a weakness before it becomes a crisis.
And this really brings us to the ultimate takeaway, the core lesson of this whole story. For a process like this, pasteurization isn't just one step among many. It is the step. It is the single critical firewall that stands between a safe food supply and a massive public health emergency. It has to be treated that way.
Look, this story is about food safety, but the principle here is universal, isn't it? It leaves us with a really important question to ask ourselves. In our own work, maybe even in our own lives, what are the things that we're treating as just general guidelines when really they are the absolute critical control points that everything else depends on? What have we overlooked?
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. New videos every week.